everyone, welcome back to another process video. This one is going to be a little bit different than what you guys normally are used to. Normally I do 12 by 12 layouts. However, I am doing my third pocket page ever for our trip that we just recently took this past week. And so what I'm using is some Studio Calico vellum stickers. Now these things were a pain. I actually had to stop the camera. They're very tiny, very fragile, and the minute you take them off the sticker sheet, the shape of the letter starts getting distorted. So it took me a long time before I could get the title down. And I knew I wanted it in that white space that you see inside my car, and it just says first road trip ever. So my husband took a picture of us driving on the freeway. Now, yes, I was safe. All eyes were on. My husband's like, "Are you sure you're driving?" I'm like, "Honey, I'm wearing sunglasses. No one is even going to realize I'm not looking at the camera." But to dress it up a little bit, I did want to use a tab punch. So the papers that I am using are from My Mind's Eye, and basically I went into my stash and found this 3x4 cut apart sheet, and so I grabbed the rest of that collection and I was just now making my own 4x6 cards. Next I do grab a doily, and you know how doilies are, they're just as fragile. So it did rip, but that's okay because it's not going to matter. It's going to be behind my photo, so I can just cover that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick that tab right behind that photo. I found another sticker sheet by Studio Calico that found a phrase that I thought would work for this layout, saying good things to come, because despite when you're on a vacation and something happens like a flat tire, good things are to come. You are on vacation with your loved ones, and that is all that matters. It's just you guys being together. So I knew that we were going to have a really good time, so that phrase was perfect. Next I do stamp it using my gold ink. Then I wanted to use a brad because, like I said, I've only done a few pocket pages, and I watched Froggy251, and she says she uses a lot of brads to use them up because they're perfect for pocket pages. So I took her advice and I used some. Next, I grab another one of those 3x4 cards because the day we left was on Tuesday, and I definitely thought I was going to use it. However, I just couldn't make it work. I felt like I was forcing it. So I decided to move on to the next 4x6 card. And again, I just cut up some pattern paper, and then I used my Spellbinder Nestabilities, the pinking die and the circle die, and those nestle in together. And then I created my own little, it's not really a title, but just my own little quote or saying that we made it. And again, using those vellum stickers by Studio Calico, and they had a ton of geotags on there, so I ended up sprinkling some geotags on this spread. Next I grabbed a label sticker and I put the name of the hotel on it. Those labels are from Studio Calico. When I was with them years ago, I don't know if they still do it, where they come in every kit and you can just print them. They had like a matching stamp set and die, and I have all of them, so I could print them up over and over again. Now, one thing I wish I could have done differently was lined them up. I didn't realize that I was going to do that until I put this spread together. I was like, oh, they don't line up, but that's all right. Moving on, now I am wanting to grab more brads, and tell me if that does not look old. Does it bring back memories? All those metal charms and eyelets. Oh my goodness. And how about that eyelet or brad holder, the case with the multicolored little tins? Yeah, I definitely want to use some of these brads up. So I picked out two that I ended up liking and put them down. Next I grabbed this 3x4 card. It's a very simple card. It just says snapshots, and it's a picture of our room. Then I grabbed another 3x4 card, and then of a picture that I took of the restaurant where we ate at. It was called Chomp, and so it had a little definition of all the different definitions of Chomp, and I just thought that was really cute and neat. Not cute and neat, I just thought it was neat. Next I move on to my next 4x6 card, and it's just the kids taking a picture of that same restaurant. They thought it was really neat, very retro. restaurant, and it had a dinosaur in it where the ice cream parlor was. So my kids were like, "Get a picture of us by the dinosaur, Mom." And I'm like, "Okay." And next, I went through my stash, or that little basket of goodies, and that is just random bits and bobs of items that I just throw in there when I'm done doing a layout. And I found this Maggie Holmes phrase sticker that says, "This was fun," so I thought that was perfect for the little tab. Next, I'm going to work on my last card. So again, I just took that striped one, is a 4x6. However, it wasn't quite big enough, so it would have been very loose in the pocket page. So what I did was I just layered it on top of that 11 by that yellow paper. Next, I grab a Heidi Swapp frame, and I'm going to use some tacky glue by Scotch. However, that's on the back of that frame, it's a very slick surface, so I'm going to try to put it on the vellum, but it ends up just moving around and not adhering it at all. So I'm going to remove a thin layer of that chipboard, so that way I got the raw chipboard, and use my ATG gun to reapply and adhere it down to that vellum. And in that middle of the frame, I definitely want the name of the place that we went to, which is called Solvang. Speaking about frames, I am just recently collaborated with Paper Kate. She also goes by KK here on YouTube. And we are going to do a very small little mini series called Frame It Friday. So starting this Friday, where we use up our frames, because we both were talking about how we buy them all the time and just never use them. They sit in our stash. So we are definitely going to try to challenge ourselves to use them up. And so far, I'm doing actually pretty good. I'm also going to include journaling. You just won't see it on this 4x6 card because I'm actually waiting to have a whole bunch of stuff to print up for journaling. But it's basically, this card is going to talk to my kids, saying how Papa took Mommy when I was a little girl to this magical place, and how it does feel like you're in a different country and, you know, a fairy tale. A Dutch village, so it feels like you're in another country. And I asked each of my kids what their thoughts are when we were driving through. You know, asked my daughter, you know, what does it feel like to you driving through this town? What does it look like? And she was like, it looks like like back in the old days, Mommy, because it definitely is not modern, except for, you know, we're all driving cars. And I asked my son what his thoughts were, and he thought that it looked like a fairy tale. Some buildings have that thatched roofing, and just so to them it felt very magical, and that's exactly the same feeling I had when I was a little girl. So I was really excited to have this, kind of brought back memories, very nostalgic to me, of bringing my kids to a place where I went as a little girl. We're definitely going to do the trip again. It's a far trip, but it is in the same state. However, I definitely want to spend a little bit more time there because we did have to cut it short. So here I am using some foam thickers. Now, this was the smallest font I had to fit in that frame. And I just, while the color matches perfectly with the color combo that I have going on, I just felt like it was very plain. So I was trying to figure out, how can I dress them up? I wanted glitter, and yet I didn't have any glitter that was that size. Then I remembered I had stickles. Now, I was late joining the stickle bandwagon or trend, so I only have 3 colors. It was what Michael's had, you know, 3 little bottles. And thank goodness one of the colors matched perfectly. So I tested it on one of the little asterisks right there on to the left. And when I saw that it would be fine, I just needed to let it dry. I went ahead and did it to all of the letters. It was really funny because I did this last night, and by 11 o'clock I'm like, okay, hopefully it'll be dry now. And I went into the room, I'm like, oh no, it's still wet. All right, so I have to wait till tomorrow. You know how you just want to get to that, like the final touch of the layout? Anyways, we are coming to an end, so I just wanted to let you know that I do show you, not in fast forward, definitely real time, of each card up close. and then what the actual 12 by 12 spread looks like. Now I will apologize because I am using my Canon Selphy. Normally I print my pictures at Costco, so Canon Selphy only has glossy paper, so it is going to pick up on the light. I only had one light on in hopes that it would not be too much of a glare. But yeah, I did the best that I could. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoy this. I am loving Pocket Pages right now. And I'm really excited because I think, you know, being that I don't have much experience, I think it turned out really good. The only thing I wish I could figure out is that picture of my kids in the phone booth. And yes, they did know what it was because of the phone icon. I just didn't know what else to add. But I'll figure it out later. Anyways, I want to thank you again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this process video. If you don't mind, please hit that like button. If you're new to my channel and you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming videos, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. I really appreciate it, and you all have an amazing day. Bye.